The sun hangs lower, a paler fire in the sky, and Kale feels it in his bones. It is not the coming cold he feels, not yet. It is the memory of coal, the memory of the last winter's teeth, the hollow ache in the belly that becomes a silent scream, the wail of the youngest child that grew thin, then quiet. That silence is the ghost that drives them. He looks at his clan, a constellation of about 30 individuals scattered across the river valley, and sees not people, but a single organism bracing for impact. There are no words for this, no grand council. There is only the shared scar of starvation and the unspoken vow, etched in every determined face, to never feel it again. This war is not fought with spears against a charging beast, but with tireless hands against the relentless passage of time. Every sliver of remaining sunlight is a resource more precious than flint. The work is a brutal, unending rhythm. The women, with children shadowing their every move, scour the low-lying brush. Their fingers, stained purple, are deft and certain, stripping the last hardy berries from thorny branches, digging for starchy roots with sharpened sticks. They use their knowledge, a form of cognitive mapping passed down through generations, to navigate this landscape of diminishing returns. They know which mushrooms emerge after the last rains and which nuts the squirrels have not yet claimed. Nothing is for today. Every berry dropped into a woven grass basket, every root bundled in hide, is a defiance of the coming white death. This is the new way. The hard-learned lesson from the season of ghosts, for hominid history. This shift from immediate consumption to long-term planning is a revolution happening one painful, aching muscle at a time. Meanwhile, the hunters move with a grim purpose. Their target is not a single meal, but a mountain of flesh. They track the great Pleistocene megafauna, the lumbering woolly rhinos and the herds of giant deer, knowing that a single large kill now is worth more than a dozen small successes in the snow. They are patient, their movements economical, their senses tuned to the subtlest shift in the wind. The young ones watch the elders, learning the silent language of a raised hand, a tilted head. This is the classroom of survival, and the tuition is life itself. They carry the weight of 30 hungry winter nights in their hearts, a profound dread, a primal fear of that encroaching, silent starvation is the fuel that keeps their legs moving, their eyes sharp. They are not merely hunting. They are waging a preemptive war against a force of nature, an enemy that cannot be killed, only outsoared. The hunters return not with a triumphant call, but with a wary, silent signal. The prize is immense, a giant deer, its lifeblood staining the frosted grass, its vast antlers a tangled crown against the grey sky. There is no celebration. The sight of the carcass, a future secured in a mountain of cooling flesh, only triggers the next phase of their war. The entire clan descends upon it, moving with the practiced efficiency of a colony of ants. This is where the true genius of these early humans reveals itself, not in the fury of the hunt, but in the cold, brutal logistics of preservation. The air, thick with the coppery tang of blood, hums with a focused, almost silent industry. At the edge of the organized chaos, an old man, his knuckles gnarled like ancient roots, practices the art that holds their world together. His moose terry and flint napping is not crude smashing. It is a percussive science. He strikes a prepared core of flint with a hammer stone, and with each calculated blow, a lethally sharp flake shears away, perfect for slicing hide and sinew. This is primitive technology born from a million years of trial and error, a dance of physics and foresight. The flakes are passed down the line, and hands young and old set to work. They peel back the thick, hairy hide, a future blanket. They carve the muscle into manageable strips. They meticulously scrape every ounce of fat, or precious, high-energy fuel for the body's furnace, to be rendered down later over a low fire. Nothing is wasted. Even the bones will be cracked for their marrow, the sinews dried for cordage. While the butchery continues under the ever-watchful eyes of sentries, another group wages a different battle, against the earth itself. They are digging the larder, a deep pit carved into the permafrost. The work is agonizing. They use the sharpened shoulder blades of previous skills as spades and the tines of antlers as picks, chipping away at the iron-hard soil. Each swing is a grunt of effort. Each basket of frozen dirt hauled away a small victory. They are racing against decay, a foe as relentless as the cold. They are also racing against the shadows that gather at the edge of the firelight. The scent of so much blood has not gone unnoticed. The distant, hungry call of a cave hyena echoes across the valley, a chilling reminder that they are not the only ones preparing for winter. The primal fear of being hunted, of having their future stolen from them, adds a frantic energy to their labor. Finally, as the last light bleeds from the sky, the pit is ready. They line it with hides and begin to pack it, layering the strips of meat, the rendered fat stored in cleaned bladders, and the last of the gathered roots. It is a testament to a year of fear and foresight. A library of calories. When the last heavy stone is rolled over the opening, a profound quiet falls over the clan. They are exhausted, filthy, untaken, but for the first time in months, the ghost of starvation recedes. The first blizzard arrives not with a roar, but a whisper. It begins as a fine, crystalline dust, a barely perceptible change in the texture of the air. Then, the sky turns to a solid, featureless grey, and the world outside the cave entrance vanishes behind a churning wall of white. The wind howls, a chorus of hungry ghosts, but inside the deep limestone shelter, there is a strange, almost sacred calm. The fire, fed with dried animal dung and precious wood gathered weeks ago, casts a flickering, amber glow on the rock walls, revealing the ochre handprints of their ancestors, silent witnesses to countless winters past. The relentless labor is over. Now, the battle of human evolution becomes an internal one. A quiet, disciplined campaign of patience on rationing. The enemy is no longer the vast, indifferent landscape, but the gnawing boredom, the confinement, and the ever-present temptation to consume their future too quickly. The clan's life contracts to the geography of the cave. The elder, Kale, oversees the larder, a dark alcove near the back where the cold seeps through the stone, keeping their stores frozen. Each day, he retrieves a carefully measured portion. This is not a task of power, but of immense trust. He gives a little more to the pregnant females, a little less to those who sleep the most. It is an act of communal altruism, an unspoken calculation of the clan's collective needs. There are no arguments, no pleas for more. They all remember the alternative. The memory of the last winter's desperate hunger is the ultimate enforcer of discipline. The children, their world shrunk to the firelit circle, huddled close, listening to the elders chip at new flint cores or scrape hides. These are the quiet months where knowledge is passed not in grand lessons, but in the rhythm of daily tasks, the hum of a story told in guttural sounds, the gentle act of a mother delicizing her child's hair. It is here, in the forced intimacy of the winter cave, that the intricate web of community is rewoven and strengthened. Days bleed into one another, marked only by the subtle shifts in the storm's fury. The primal fear now is of the silence, the fear that the storm will never end, that the world outside has been erased forever. It is during these moments of deep stillness that one of the younger women takes a piece of charcoal from the fire into smooth, flat stone. She begins to draw. It is the outline of the great deer, its magnificent antlers spreading across the rock. It is a simple act, yet it is everything. It is memory, it is hope. It is a defiant spark of humanity against the overwhelming, impersonal force of the world. This simple image, a record of their greatest victory, is a piece of archaeology in the making, a message to the future. They are not just surviving, they are remembering, telling, and creating. They have faced the coming winter not as cornered prey, but as strategists. They fought their war in the sun, and here, in the belly of the storm, they are living in the peace they earned. The blizzard breaks, as all things do. The sun that returns is a weak, watery thing, But it is enough. The clan emerges, blinking, into a world scoured clean and blanketed in white. They have endured. They have won. This victory was not forged in a single moment of heroic struggle, but in the quiet, cumulative power of foresight. In the 100,000 monotonous acts of gathering, processing, and storing. It was won by the intelligence that allowed them to understand the passage of seasons, to wage war on a future event. This is the bedrock of our own survival. The cognitive leap that separates us from the beast that lives only in the present. The instincts that drove them, to plan, to cooperate, to save, to share, are not relics of prehistory. They are the ghosts that haunt our grocery stores, our pension plans, our every preparation for a tomorrow we cannot see. Their struggle is the echo in our own bones. A reminder that the war against the indifferent forces of the universe is never truly over. The question is, and always has been, what will we store up for the winter of our own making? Their story is a thread in the immense, silent tapestry of time. What new thread will be pulled from the darkness next?